This is the Deep South. I feel it every time that molten hot sun pours down on me. Don't you, Zack? Hey Zack, it looks like we were right on the money. Tracing the Sang Rouge distribution route led us right to Louisiana. You know what that means. We've got a hot hand, and Lady Luck's given us far more favor than she ever has before. We just happened to hear news about Lisa's murder while sitting in a bar during our vacation in New Orleans. That certainly wouldn't have happened if we had stayed in D.C. They would have given... This town sure is peaceful, Zack. Yes, I know. I know what you're about to say. But that's why we're here. To protect this peace. Isn't that right, Zack? Zack, it appears to be closed. Let's come back during... One lollipop? Two lollipops? Three lollipops? Don't mind me, Zack. This is how I wake myself up. Zack, you're a coffee person, right? No sugar, only milk. Yes, I'm completely with you on that one. This town sure is peaceful, Zack. Yes, I know. I know what you're about to say. But that's why we're here. To protect this peace. Isn't that right, Zack? Did you notice it yet? The streets in New Orleans were a mess. All busted up and undergoing maintenance. The city was built on a swamp, so the ground is soft. All it takes is some heavy rain to cave it all in. There were also a lot of places where large tree roots were pushing up parts of the asphalt and the sidewalk. Those bumps were dangerous even when we still had our car, remember? But this town is different. The streets are all paved so cleanly that we can skate along them without a care in the world. And there's hardly any trash or graffiti to be found anywhere. The Clarksons truly do control this place, for better or worse. It's a good example of how allowing certain people to rise to power can have positive effects as well. Also, don't you find that Southern people are remarkably friendly, even to total strangers? Both here and in New Orleans, I've been amazed at how cordial everyone is. Is it just the way things are down here? You certainly don't see that sort of thing in New York or D.C. They never stop to chit-chat, especially when ordering food. They only say what's necessary, without any decoration. The customer only makes eye contact with the waiter about once every 3 times they interact. But that's just how it is. Isn't that right, Zack? The human relationships here are as fluid as an inorganic mechanism running on the smoothest, purest oil there is. And it feels strangely comfortable. If this town has a symbol, it's got to be that bridge hanging over the bayou. Lift bridges are truly a rarity. Reminds me of Duluth, Minnesota. Remember what happened there? That man went to such great lengths to collect his victims' tongues. You know, the one who would French kiss them every day as they slowly decompose. As I drove... Hey, want to talk about bridges? Why? I've become obsessed with bridges, Zack, and there's no turning back now. Remember what we saw on our way here? Back when we were driving that hybrid car before we switched over to the skateboard. We passed over the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, the longest bridge over water in the entire world. Remember the sudden downpour that made it impossible for us to see the road? The rain was so torrential that we couldn't see more than a few miles ahead of us. I'm sure local drivers are used to that sort of thing. They were all going normal speeds. I'll bet that scene reminded you of a certain... One lollipop? Two lollipops? Three lollipops? Don't mind me, Zack. This is how I wake myself up. Were you thinking about Galena too? And all the other women we've seen so far on our travels across the states? Zack, I'm right, aren't I? This is a vast country. Incredibly vast. And it's mostly composed of mountains, deserts, and farmland, with small towns scattered about here and there. That's how America looks to me. Compared to the scale of this entire country, New York, Chicago, and LA are all microscopic. Sometimes they even feel like figments of my imagination. Think back to what Las Vegas looked like when we were driving up I-15. It was a mirage. The TV and movies dress up those mirages and broadcast them to people all around the world. Meanwhile, American women become fascinated by the gorgeous city lights and are drawn toward those illusions. The very same women who were chosen as prom queens in their small towns. In the end, all they find... Hey, Zack, it looks like we were right on the money. Tracing the Sang Rouge distribution route led us right to Louisiana. You know what that means. We've got a hot hand, and Lady Luck's given us... If this town has a symbol, it's got to be that bridge hanging over the bayou. Lift bridges are truly a rarity. Reminds me of Duluth, Minnesota. Remember what happened there? That man went to such great lengths to collect his victims' tongues. You know, the one who would French kiss them every day as they slowly decomposed. As I drove him to the station after his arrest, he started lecturing me on the proper way to give someone a kiss. Anyway, back to Duluth. They have a famous lift bridge there called the Aerial Lift Bridge. The lift bridge here is the first one we've seen since then, but this one looks a lot smaller than the aerial lift bridge. Its smaller size was most likely chosen due to the width of the river and the sea level of this area. The height and structure of a bridge is what determines which sort of boats can travel down the river. Normal bridges' base heights are set at a higher point so that boats can freely pass underneath them. But I imagine it would be difficult to create a bridge with a large arch here due to the river width and the sea level. That's why we're seeing all these mobile bridges, such as lift bridges and drawbridges around here. As far as Louisiana goes, it appears that they've built mobile bridges over most of the bayous. Fascinating, isn't it, Zack? So many different types of bridges. I'm curious to learn even more about bridges now. Let's do some detailed research next time we get the chance. Hey, Zack. No, nothing. Just felt like saying that. This town sure is peaceful, Zack. Yes, I know. I know what you're about to say. But that's why we're here. To protect this peace. Isn't that right, Zack? Hey, Zack. No, nothing. Just felt like saying that. This town sure is peaceful, Zack. Yes, I know. I know what you're about to say. But that's why we're here. To protect this peace. Isn't that right?
What? You need a ride? Okay, I'll call her in. Wife!
How's the investigation coming? Must be going well if you're on the case. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, get in, get in.
Look, Zack. That seat is beckoning us. Listen to the two ends and drink dry the firewater. Do this, and you will see the other world. Hungan's oracle pointed us to this bar. So we must have to do something here. But I feel like the firewater part is missing something. Zack, do you see that? It's a gigantic go sign. I think someone's trying to send us a very powerful message here. That settles it. This must be a singularity. beautiful lipstick. The color red suits you.
Thank you. Red is the color of life. No human who knows the joy of life would ever hate this color. Or would they?
Maybe. Maybe not. But I know of a drug with a red color that certainly doesn't signify life. It sometimes even steals the lives of those who drown themselves in it. Catch my drift?
Before a candle's flame burns out, it burns brighter than ever before, blazing like a shining red star. Don't you think that instant is more valuable than a century of smoldering?
That blaze doesn't cast out the darkness. It only emphasizes it. But where are my manners? I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Let me get straight to the point. You were present when Lise Clarkson was murdered. And you were also involved with Galena Clarkson's death. Correct?
Agent Morgan, are you a man who can hold his liquor?
I'd love some firewater.
We're similar. You and I.
Really? I don't see the resemblance.
Well, you should. Look deeper. Think about who you were when you were first born, and who you are now. Different selves exist inside your body.
Are you talking about Zack?
I was born as a man, but in my heart, I wasn't so. And this is a small town. I experienced far more scorn and discrimination than anyone could ever imagine. Especially from my father. Parents are supposed to raise their children with love. That's the norm, right? Not for me. I was raised by my father's flesh-seething hatred.
So you ran away from home, started making drugs, then seduced a young life and destroyed it? That story makes no sense to me. Think about it. They didn't burn you in a witch hunt, nor did they ever try to take your life. Yet here you are, letting your selfish fantasies drive you to torch the entire town with vengeful fire. Why did you abandon your inheritance only to end up in a place like this? What do you hope to achieve?
You've already figured out that much. Leonard doesn't exist anymore. He disappeared from me a long time ago. All that's left now is the Red Soul.
The Red Soul?
The Red Soul gives me strength and courage. And I vowed to use that strength to change this world. The Red Soul has the power to amplify the unique characteristics we all possess. Mentally and physically. That's why I created the Holy Red Powder. So that everyone can enjoy its divine benefits.
That's ridiculous.
Our world is home to scarier monsters than violence and prejudice.
Ugh. Zack.
Someday, even your best friend will abandon you.
No. Never.
And in the end, you'll be all alone.
Zack and I will always be together.
Daddy! Daddy! Where are you, Daddy? Don't leave me here! Daddy! Please! I can't find Mommy either! Don't leave me alone! Please? Please, Daddy. Please, Daddy.
Oh. She got us, Zack. She spiked the drink with some sort of sleeping pill. No wonder they call her the Professor. Whew. But that was a rash move. Perhaps she realized that she's finally crossed the point of no return. Or... We need to head to the Clarksons at once before it's too late. We can still stop this. Hey, Zack. No, nothing. Just felt like saying that. Hey, Zack. No, nothing. This town sure is peaceful, Zack. Yes, I know. I know what you're about to say. But that's why we're here. To protect this peace. Isn't that right, Zack? Hey, want to talk about bridges? Why? I've become obsessed with bridges, Zack, and there's no turning back now. Remember what we saw on our way here? Back when we were driving that hybrid car before we switched over to the skateboard. We passed over the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway. The
How's the investigation coming? Must be going well if you're on the case.
Hey, Zack, it looks like we were right on the money. Tracing the Sang Rouge distribution route led us right to Louisiana. You know what that means. We've got a hot hand, and Lady Luck's given us far more favor than she ever has before. We just happened to hear news about Lisa's murder while sitting in a bar during our vacation in New Orleans. That certainly wouldn't have happened if we had stayed in D.C. They would have given the case to another special agent, or maybe even to the state, and then we never would have found it. In the end, it would have been shut up in that vast, desolate evidence vault along with all the other cases, marked by nothing but a first-degree murder tag buried in a soggy grave at the bottom of a sea of data. That would have been its fate. Instead, it traveled from person to person until it finally fell right into our lap. Things always work out that way for us. We've traveled all over the United States trying to track down Sang Rouge. We can't let this chance pass us by, can we, Zack? We need to find some sort of clue before this southern sun melts it all away. Hey, Zack, it looks like we were right on the money. Tracing the Sang Rouge distribution route led us right to Louisiana. You know what that means. We've got a hot hand, and Lady Luck's given us far more favor than she ever has before. We just happened to hear news about Lisa's murder while sitting in a bar during our vacation in New Orleans. That certainly wouldn't have happened if we had stayed in D.C. They would have given the case to another special agent, or maybe even to the state, and then we never would have found it. In the end, it would have been shut up in that vast, desolate evidence vault. Hey, Zack, it looks like we were right on the money. Tracing the Sang Rouge distribution route led us right to Louisiana. You know what that means. We've got a hot hand, and Lady Luck's given us far more favor than she ever has before. We just happened to hear news about Lisa's murder while sitting in a bar during our vacation in New Orleans. That certainly wouldn't have happened if we had stayed in D.C. They would have given the case to another special agent, or maybe even to the state, and then we never would have found it. In the end, it would have been shut up in that vast, desolate evidence vault along with all the other cases, marked by nothing but a first-degree murder tag buried in a soggy grave at the bottom of a sea of data. That would have been its fate. Instead, it traveled from person to person until it finally fell right into our lap. Things always work out that way for us. We've traveled all over the United States trying to track down Sang Rouge. We can't let this chance pass us by, can we, Zack? We need to find some sort of clue before this southern sun melts it all away. Hey, Zack. No, nothing. Just felt like saying that. This town sure is peaceful, Zack. Yes, I know. I know what you're about to say. But that's why we're here. To protect this peace. Isn't that right, Zack? This town sure is peaceful, Zack. Yes, I know. I know what you're about to say. But that's why we're here. To protect this peace. Isn't that right? This is the Deep South. I feel it every time that molten hot sun pours down on me. Don't you, Zack? Hey, want to talk about bridges? Why? I've become obsessed with bridges, Zack, and there's no turning back now. Remember what we saw on our way here? Back when we were driving that hybrid car before we switched over to the skateboard. We passed over the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, the longest bridge over water in the entire world. Remember the sudden downpour that made it impossible for us to see the road? The rain was so torrential that we couldn't see more than a few miles ahead of us. I'm sure local drivers are used to that sort of thing. They were all going normal speeds. I'll bet that scene reminded you of a certain film. Or... Zack, it's a singularity. The Oracle was right on the mark. The mouth to the other world is open, ready to swallow us alive. I think this case is finally starting to come together. Here we go again, Zack. You're as excited as I am, aren't you? You don't have to explain everything. No need for words right now. Not while this eccentric, provocative experience is begging us to come inside. Zack, do you feel it? Something happened here. It's the same feeling I got when we entered the place where Lise died. Professor R, Lena, came in here alone. It looks like nothing but a suicide attempt to me. Did she have some trick up her sleeve? They certainly look a little rough around the edges. Perhaps we should just call them the Clarkson Gang. They're holding their weapons like total amateurs, which means they must not have had any formal training. Even if they came rushing in all at once, they'd still be no match for us. Maybe the Clarksons aren't as fearsome as the rumors make them out to be. Or perhaps they've fallen into such a decline that they can't even manage their own allies any longer.
Now you decide to come back, huh? What for? I know you've been hiding from me, planning God knows what. Too bad it ain't gonna amount to anything. It don't matter what you do. The Clarkson family is already on its last legs. After only a single century, we're on the verge of losing all that power our ancestors built up for us. Ever since the day you left home, that was the beginning of the end.
Zack, that's a miniature bomb. Lena must have set it here. Is this her trump card? It looks pretty elaborate. Another accolade for the professor. She also displayed expert precision when she used that fire to make my cocktail. Her wisdom gave birth to Sang Rouge. She must also have an advanced understanding of chemistry. I just hope she hasn't laid any other traps for us up ahead.
Yes, I abandoned my family. But that has nothing to do with the Clarksons' downfall. It's much more complicated than that.
Oh, I agree. It's complicated. Just look at these assholes. They're so goddamn stupid. They won't even shit.
Philip J. Clarkson. The horrible father that Professor R spoke of. Of course, he looks perfectly calm. It's hard to believe that it's only my second time seeing him. He's an overwhelming man, Zack.
The legacy of the Clarksons is like a candle in the wind, a sad vestige of what it used to be. But it's not completely dead yet.
So what? You came here to snuff it out yourself?
Oh, no. I didn't come to snuff anything out. I came to make it burn red once more.
What in hell is with you? Did that red powder finally make you lose your mind?
That face, Zack. She looks so calm and collected. Perhaps she intended to take her own life after she murdered Philip. But that wouldn't solve anything. We know how calculating she is. Surely she must have understood that.
Just like you said, times have changed. You've gotten old. Your power is waning. But I'm not going to let things end here. After you and all the old tumors die, the goddess will take control of Lucare, and all of Louisiana for that matter. The goddess of fertility, with all her newfound might.
And who's that supposed to be? You? Ha! That's a good one. You know, you're just as dumb as everyone else. You never see things for how they really are. Oh, no. Here, go on. Take my life. You can have it. Do whatever you want with me. But don't you forget. That's Clarkson blood you got running through those veins. Oh, you took the long way to it. But it looks like you be inheriting our legacy after all. Just like I always wanted you to.
Oh, I won't be inheriting anything.
What?
I'm not the goddess of fertility either.
Well, then...
But I'm still powerful.
Professor R fought hard in this hall. And the last gunshot we heard sounded ominous, Zack. Everything she says seems to hint at some deeper meaning. The goddess of fertility taking over all of Louisiana with her newfound power? The details elude me, but she's clearly plotting something big. But if she dies here, she'll never be able to complete it. Why risk it then? Oh well. Let's continue on, Zack. I'm sure we'll find the answer once we reach the inner sanctum. Now this is a surprise. Zack,
You're surprised. This is my house. And I can set foot wherever I please within my own house. Or is that against the law now, too, FBI?
where's Professor R? I know she came here.
100 years ago, my father, Isaac Clarkson, came to this town and subjugated its people with his might. In time, he created an empire that put the entire southwest region of Louisiana right in the palm of his hand. Whenever any of his kin betrayed him, he'd cut 'em limb from limb and make an example of 'em. The shadows need a way of keeping the balance too, you see. That's why the severed roots exist. Sometimes they chop a fella's ears off, maybe scoop his eyes out. Then they chop off all the limbs. Either way, they all ended up looking the same in the end. No different from mixing up the ingredients in your food. But this is sick. Why would any soul ever need to line up the stumps all neat like this? What's happening in Lucari right now ain't right. It ain't, you know, it kinda feels like what you call pure evil. I'll be real honest here. Right now, I'm afraid. The evil that's taking this era by the balls is trying to gobble up Lucari too. Francis York Morgan, you FBI son of a bitch. Just what in hell did you come to this town for?
Well, I hate to rain on your sensational parade of a monologue, but my answer is simple. I came here chasing a drug called Sang Rouge that's been steadily permeating the southern states. And I plan to arrest all the perpetrators involved in the name of justice.
Oh, you sure sound like a devil, all right.
So be it. You're free to interpret my words any way you like.
Well, interpret this. You've come here to bring death and destruction to our town, or my name isn't P.J. Clarkson. You leave a mountain of corpses in your wake. So go on and suffer. in the name of justice or whatever you want to call it.
Zack, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to prove that we fight on the side of justice. But why was Philip here in the first place? I thought we were inside her mind. No need to answer, Zack. The only reason this world's so fun is because of all the mysteries it holds.
I grew up in this room. As my back broke under all my father's expectations.
Your cocktail was delicious. So delicious, in fact, that it carried me off into a dream. Huh. Professor R., what did you hope to achieve by coming back to this house? I don't believe for a moment that you'd ever risk your life just to get revenge on your father.
Leonard Clarkson. That was my name when I lived here. Everyone called me Lenny. My father taught me all sorts of things so that I would grow up to become a proper heir. How to manipulate people. How to properly use tools such as violence and rewards. But I could never bring myself to care about any of it.
You left this place in order to find your true self. But what did that achieve? In the end, you fell back into Lucare. And now you spend your time selling the new drug you created, preying on the weak. You and the Clarksons are exactly alike in that regard. No, you choose your victims indiscriminately, which makes you even uglier.
Some people find joy in ruining themselves, offering up their lives to whatever they worship. This cycle has repeated itself since long ago. To me, it's the most noble of actions. Surely you must agree, Agent Morgan.
Stop trying to rationalize your crimes with that dramatic gibberish. Vicissitudo, the Latin word used to describe a fluctuation between two polar opposites. Galena's body wasn't a declaration of war. It was this, wasn't it? Those severed roots were fakes. Who did you force to kill Galena?
I can't believe you figured out that much. You're dangerous.
What you're talking about is true madness, not some noble fairy tale.
You're going to shoot me. Okay. Go ahead and shoot. Come on! Shoot me! The Clarkson bloodline is cursed. It needs purification. A blood purge!
Let me control you. Let me own you. You can never.
Zack, here it is again. A red tree and a translucent cocoon. I think we've reached the core.
The goddess of fertility will descend into Lucare, and then the sweet fruit will be ours. Destruction is the first step to creation. Lisa's death sent everything into motion. There's no stopping it now. Her death proved how determined I am, how dedicated I am to all who trust in me. Alina and Lise, their deaths were not in vain. They led us to the harvest. The Clarkson blood curse will be washed away. Life must be sacrificed.
Blood purge. Blood purge. Blood. Blood. I need blood!
Let me hold.
Galena and Lise, they're both dead. I can't turn back now! The Red Soul can't die here. You can't erase it! Blood Purge! The Blood Purge! We will create a new world! A new generation! The blood must be purified!
That's the true self you worked so hard to find. I'm sorry, Lena. I gave you far more credit than I ever should have.
The Clarksons have always been the chosen ones, proud souls, divine life-given form. But at some point, that blood became tainted. So I decided to reset it. I need to purify this corrupt blood for the one I love most. After I left home, I met the Red Soul and acquired a guide. And so I created the red powder and became an apostle for the red magic. The red powder transforms the body from within. It creates empowered souls, and mature souls are the greatest offering one can present to the goddess. Lise and Galena didn't lose their minds. They both died with honor.
Died with honor? Just how deluded are you? Dismembered them and strung up their bodies in the name of vapid symbolism. Where's the honor in that? So what if they said they wanted to die? Cultists have been saying that for centuries.
Silence! You will impede us no longer.
You're always so smug. Oh, how I hate you. This is the last you'll ever see of my plan.
Now die! This is true immolation! Fire my plan. This can't be happening. I'm supposed to be invincible. Back to dust you go! This is true! If you kill me, no one will be left to tell you about the plan. No. How could I lose? But it's too late. No one can stop my plan. Now, not even me. Red Tree!
Lena, let go. I'm going to count to 3, then you're going to get down on the ground and put your hands behind your head. Got it?
See this? If I let go, the bomb in the fireplace will explode.
Do something smart for once, Lena. Detonating that bomb won't solve anything.
You're wrong, Agent Morgan. It'll give me the ending I've always dreamed of.
Leonard, you're wrong. Killing me will bring back our family's prosperity.
No! I know I'm right!
You never change. Once you make up your mind, that single idea possesses you. It's almost like you're cursing yourself. Oh, my, always holding on to all your pain.
No! You're the one who's wrong!
When you first told me about the disparity between your mind and your body, I didn't know how to love you.
Stop it! I don't want to hear this!
But I always knew from the very start.
Stop talking!
There was something special inside you. I also know that you had any cause with your older sister. Your own flesh and blood.
Shut up!
I just didn't know how to treat you. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Stop. Please.
I never, ever hated you. I always loved you. From the bottom of my...
I said shut up.
Don't, Lena!
This is necessary. All of the corrupt blood must die. The Clarksons' blood must be purged. Then, the purity that's left behind can rebuild the Clarksons' legacy.
Is that the goddess of fertility?
Go and see her with your own eyes. You're an FBI special agent. Surely you can find her. No one can stop my plan now. Not even me.
No, stop!
Patricia Clarkson.
Paul! Oh, Paul! Oh my God!
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Agent York? Can you hear me?
What is it, Patty? Where's Melvin?
Well, I don't know. He won't answer me, and he ain't at the sheriff's office either. What should I do? You think he got caught up in some kind of trouble?
I did. Oh, shit! I got nothing now. I can't.
Patty, I need someone at the Clarksons' house ASAP. I don't care who you send. They can also ask Daniel Clarkson about the details once they get here. And you should also call an ambulance, just in case. Got it?
Huh? Sure.
I'm going to head straight over to the sheriff's office, Patty. Let's meet up there. Let, Zack, it appears. Let's come back during.